The leader of the Blue-Green Knights, Lucento Edenheimeimer, scowls at the barbarian and orders him to step aside. Kettle stands firm, protecting Princess Selene, who watches with a concerned look. With a slight grin, he coolly declines, "I'm sorry, but I can't do that." The captain's expression hardens beneath his helmet. If he refuses to move, he warns, his voice taking on a threatening tone, "I'll have no choice but to resort to force." In an instant, a brilliant red aura erupts around Lucento as he launches himself forward at incredible speed. He throws a fierce punch, his armored fist targeted straight at Kettle's face. However, just as the strike is about to connect, Kettle's hand darts up and blocks the attack. With apparently minimal effort, he catches the knight, halting the powerful charge in an instant. The knight captain is suspended mid-air, his momentum completely halted. Lucento stares in sheer disbelief, struggling to understand how his full-force strike was foiled so effortlessly. Still gripping the captain's kettle, he smoothly twists his body, leveraging Lucento's own momentum against him. With a strong heave, he spins the armored man around and flings him through the air. Lucento crashes hard from the impact, tumbling backward into the woods. The remaining knights stand in shocked silence, drops of sweat forming on their brows as they take in the astonishing display of strength. One of them calls out in disbelief, "Commander." Another turns to Kettle, stammering, "What are you doing?" Kettle turns his head slightly, maintaining an expression of calm. "You initiated the attack," he remarks plainly. He then fully turns his back to them, standing guard in front of Alan. "And it's my duty to eliminate threats to my employer." Meanwhile, Captain Lucento struggles to rise, wincing as he clutches his side and stumbles. He glances at Kettle and states, "The princess is unwell." Regaining his breath, Captain Lucento glares at Kettle. "Do you honestly believe all of the princess's fantasies are real?" he spits out, his voice dripping with skepticism. "You're talking nonsense." Without turning to look at him, Kettle responds steadily, "Isn't it expected for a mercenary to trust their employer?" Standing behind him, Alan's eyes widen a bit at his remark. She gazes at his back, a mix of surprise and appreciation on her face as she softly exclaims, "Ah!" The knight captain's patience is wearing thin. "You're all mad," he growls in frustration. A small grin forms on Kettle's lips. "Well, that's not for you to decide." Suddenly, his demeanor shifts as he becomes focused and serious. He turns his head slightly toward the princess. Ellen, startled by his abrupt change in tone, replies, "Yes." His eyes sharpen, assessing the situation. "They appeared out of nowhere," he states, his voice low and wary. Elaine looks at him, puzzled, and asks, "What do you mean?" To simplify, Kettle elaborates, glancing over his shoulder at the knights, "These guys just materialized from thin air at some point." The princess is taken aback by this insight, exclaiming in shock, "What?" The realization hits her as she thinks to herself, "Now that you mention it." With this new doubt, Kettle redirects his full attention to the knights. He confronts them head-on, demanding, "How did you appear so suddenly?" Captain Lucento and his knights remain utterly still and silent, offering no response to his direct inquiry. Captain Lucento finally breaks the stillness, annoyance evident in his voice. "Does it even matter?" He attempts to brush off the doubt, adding, "We came here seeking the princess. Yet you keep nitpicking odd details." Kettle's gaze sharpens as he notes their evasiveness. "So, you're choosing not to answer," he deduces calmly. With the knight's motives revealed, Kettle resolves, "In that case," he proclaims, "I'll take her to the realm of Denyon." Upon hearing this, Aline is swept away by emotion. A radiant blue aura envelops her as she reflects on her struggles. "No one," she muses, her voice shaking in her thoughts. "No one at all. No one has ever believed me." The tense standoff draws to a close as one knight grips the hilt of his sword, steadily drawing the blade. Their patience has reached its limit. The knights begin to fan out, surrounding the group as Captain Lucento asserts, "There's no use discussing this any longer." Kettle addresses his allies calmly. Everyone take a step back for a moment, his hands clasped nervously. Elaine glances at him with worry. "Kettle, please watch yourself." Internally, she frets, knowing they face the most formidable knights in the kingdom. Lucento raises his voice, commanding his men. "All units, unsheathe your swords." In perfect sync, the knights draw their weapons, which instantly begin to hum and radiate with a soft green energy. They are ready for combat. Seeing their combat readiness, a slight smirk appears on Kettle's face. "Intriguing," he mutters under his breath, entirely unfazed. Meanwhile, the restrained Tower Master Lich observes the unfolding scene. A dim red light flickers in his eye as he internally mocks the display of might. "Amateurs," he thinks as the knights' weapons shimmer with green energy. The bound Lich continues his silent evaluation. They all possess the ability to wield mystic arts, he reflects, his gaze then fixed on their commanding officer. And that one is exceptional. Captain Lucento aims his sword directly at Kettle and gives his order. Eliminate the barbarian, he shouts. You are free to slay him. On this command, the knights rush forward in a synchronized charge. They quickly close in, encircling Kettle and lunging to strike collectively. Just as their enchanted blades are about to connect, a surge of energy erupts from Kettle's unmoving figure. The blast of force effortlessly throws all the attacking knights back, disrupting their advance completely. Kettle remains rooted in the same spot, unharmed, as a circle of light fades around him. Without allowing them a moment to regain composure, Kettle closes the gap. He easily evades a kick from one knight and counters with a swift, forceful kick of his own, hurling the armored man away. Almost immediately, he shifts his gaze to the others. With his eyes shimmering a gentle purple, he releases a bolt of blue energy from his open hand. The shock wave crashes into 2 additional knights, hitting them squarely in the chest and sending them reeling back. In a whirlwind of movement, Kettle continues his onslaught, taking out the remaining knights with ruthless precision. Within moments, the entire squad has been neutralized, their bodies spread across the forest floor in defeat. One of the fallen knights groans in agony. Gah! Standing amid the chaos, Kettle's expression remains cold and resolute. Exactly, he states, confirming the princess's worries regarding these impostors. Group assaults are quite troublesome, Kettle muses to himself as he observes the knights regroup. Seeing their uncertainty, Captain Lucento yells, "Don't hesitate. Charge all at once." His troops reply with a collective yes and initiate another full-scale assault. The knights rush towards Kettle from all sides, their green capes flowing dramatically as they converge on him. Just as they are about to strike, Kettle reacts with astonishing speed. He intercepts one of the knights in mid-air, firmly grasping his helmet. Before the other knights can adjust, Kettle spins his body in a powerful whirlwind motion. He utilizes the knight he has caught as a weapon, slamming him into his fellow knights with overwhelming force. The sound of metal clashing against metal rings through the clearing as the knights are violently hurled aside. The attack concludes in an instant. Kettle stands at the center of a small crater formed by the sheer force of his spin, surrounded by the crumpled figures of the entire knight squad. A final, pain-grown Guhak escapes from one of the defeated fighters. Amidst the fallen forms of his men, Captain Lucento remains as the last one standing. His sword hums, radiating a bright, concentrated green aura. "You monster!" he yells in fury, launching himself forward in a frantic, powerful charge. He swings his enchanted blade down in a swift, vicious arc aimed directly at Kettle's neck, shouting, "Die!" Watching from the side, Ellen gasps in horror. "No," she shouts, thinking to herself, "it's too dangerous." Just as the glowing edge of the sword is about to strike, Kettle's hand darts up. With his teeth clenched from the effort, he catches the flat of the blade, halting the deadly strike mere inches from his skin. The sword's potent energy crackles against his hand, yet the weapon is completely stopped. Captain Lucento's eyes widen in sheer disbelief. His attack has been entirely neutralized by an extraordinary feat of power. With his eyes glowing intensely, Kettle tightens his grip and, in an astonishing show of sheer strength, bites down on the enchanted sword. The blade shatters into fragments against his teeth. The restrained Tower Master Lich observes, utterly astonished by the scene unfolding before him. He's got him in his jaws, he thinks incredulously, as the recoil sends Captain Lucento sprawling backward onto the forest floor. Kettle gazes down at the defeated captain, his expression calm yet menacing. "Care to continue?" he inquires. Lucento glances around at the scene of utter defeat. His knights lay strewn across the clearing, either knocked out or struggling to rise to their feet. A look of grim understanding crosses his features. "Everyone," he mutters, recognizing the condition of his men. Shaken by the weight of their overwhelming defeat, he gives the only command he can: retreat. In an instant, the captain and the remaining knights scramble to their feet and make a quick escape, dissolving into the woods. With the threat dissipated, Ela's voice, filled with concern, calls out, "Kettle Nim." He turns to face her and her companions. She rushes closer and asks, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine. No need to fret," he responds, reassuring her. His expression then turns serious. "Elaine, I will honor the request as promised," he declares before adding, "but I wish to hear the complete story." Ellen looks a bit taken aback by his suggestion, releasing a soft sigh. She gathers her thoughts swiftly, yet nods resolutely. "Certainly," she replies, her tone firm. "I'll share everything with you."